Middle meat mudslinging here meat. It's a true pick'em, one that I think might have a lot of value associated with it. It's Muslim Salikhov, aka the Kung Fu Panda, taking on Andre Fialho, and both these guys are coming off recent losses. Andre Fialho was expected by a lot to beat Jake Matthews in their contest over at UFC 275, and he got absolutely outclassed, stiffened in the second round via a beautiful Jake Matthews punch, and it was kind of peak Jake Matthews. We hadn't really seen him look better, to be honest, and it was Fialho's second loss in the UFC. The other coming in his debut against Michel Pereira, and this is a guy who had a lot of nice wins in Bellator, made his debut against Pereira, and although he did drop a unanimous decision, that fight was very close. It was very competitive, and you kind of knew how good, or at least the potential that Andre Fialho had from that very debut. And after that, he rifled off beautiful wins against Miguel Baeza and against Cameron Van Camp, a fight we were at, and both of those were performance of the nights. He just ran into Jake Matthews, so I'm curious how he looks in this one against Salikhov, who also was on a fat streak of his own. He had won 5 straight in the UFC, the most recent being a nice win against Francisco Trinaldo, and then he got absolutely smoked by Li Jin Liang, got finished in the second round. So a similar story in that he was on a nice little win streak and then got shut down quick. What are your thoughts on the matchmaking in this one? Do you think either guy has a stronger strength of schedule and better wins on their resume? Or is this just evenly matched and you see a banger? How does this go down?
Yeah, no, this is a very fun fight, great matchup. Honestly, I feel like this card, the matchmakers, they're just getting better and better. It looks like Uncle Dana hired a true meathead because these matchups have been surreal. This card's kind of a banger, not the biggest names, but definitely some big statements are going to be set this weekend. And I gotta go with Fialho. I mean, he's 28. He's looking like he's 48, but that is actually, Muslim, the Kung Fu Panda. He's 38, looking like 78, and I think he's going to beat KFC after this. I think Fialho's going to knock him out. I really hope it's not a boring, Muslim decision grind. He could just grapple him and just ragdoll him. I don't know. I feel like we haven't really seen Andre Fialho's wrestling really tested, so it'll be interesting to see how King of Kung Fu handles this fight. I would imagine he wants to get it to the ground. I don't think he wants to stand. Fialho's got weird coconut bombs in those fists, unlike the actual coconut bomb who doesn't. So this is going to be a close fight. Got to take the 28-year-old. I'm guessing second round KO.
Yeah, good stuff. And I think one might expect Muslim Salikhov to want to get this thing to the mat. Maybe there's a perceived advantage down there, but we kind of know the Kung Fu Panda as a guy who is there to stand and bang. Like he's got a very, I mean, Kung Fu is the perfect way to put it. Diverse skill set when it comes to the handiwork he could do on the feet, and he's got a lot of different strikes. So I don't think he's going to be afraid to come and stand and bang with Andre Fialho. But I agree with you in that I just think that that's ultimately going to be a bad decision, and Andre Fialho likely gets a finish in this one. I mean, if you look over at Tapology, 60% is rolling with Fialho. Most of it is brown for that KO TKO. 40% is rolling with Salikhov, and most is beige. They like the decision. You and I are both picking, sounds like, the KO for Fialho. Do we think that maybe Lee the Leech sort of took Salikhov's soul and therefore might be a little bit more susceptible to the absolute meat bombs that Fialho is going to be throwing? Because, I mean, historically, he's been a difficult guy to put out by strikes. What do you think? How do you think Fialho finishes him and when?
Yeah, no, that's a great point because both of them, they both got finished with devastating knockouts. So who recovered better? Who still has a chin? I gotta imagine the 28-year-old is gonna be able to recover quicker, at that age. Being 38, I know, who knows? We're gonna find out because I feel like one of these guys are getting slept. And it's battle of who's got the glass chin and who's still got the iron jaw. But yeah, I think Fialho's gonna get it done first or second round. If the fight goes to decision, I gotta imagine, King of Kung Fu kind of played his game, point fought, and just grinded out the lame victory, I guess you could call it, where he doesn't really put himself in danger ever. While Fialho, he's there to stand and bang. He's trying to scrap. So it'll be interesting to see if King of Kung Fu tries to step into the dark realm of Fialho, or does he, stay away and just point fight and, win a greedy, little decision.
Yeah, it'll be interesting to see how he plays his cards for sure. And to your point, if Andre Fialho doesn't get that early finish, I mean, this is a guy with literally all KO, TKO finishes on his record. He only has the one decision way pre-UFC against Javier Torres. So he's a guy who is going to get these fights done on the feet. And if he's unable to in the later rounds, then perhaps it might spell bad news. But I like your idea that Fialho recovers, the brain comes back restored, rejuvenated, and he gets a finish over the Kung Fu Panda. Any last thoughts?
No, great fight, great matchup. Throw in the comments who you got. You taking the King of Kung Fu or Fialho?